西非最大的农药供应商。正是得益于加纳良好的投资和营商环境，我们将新安的非洲总部设在加纳，附设周边国家和市场，并成为中国企业投资非洲的桥头堡。我们深度对接加纳种植粮食和就业倡议，每年开展100余场农技培训，累计教会25万农民科学植保的技术。玉米高产解决方案让当地亩产增收超30%。的农业发展杰出贡献奖。我们本地员工占比超10%，培养了一大批生产、销售、管理等关键岗位的骨干，并与我们相信
among others. Welcome to the Presidential Investment Forum under the theme, Partnering for Prosperity, Unlocking Investment Opportunities in Ghana. At this time, please permit me to call on stage the Honorable Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry of Ghana, Honorable Elizabeth Ofosu-Ejare.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, Honorable Ministers of State, senior government officials, members of captains of industry, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is an honor to address this distinguished gathering on the occasion of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahamad's state visit to the People's Republic of China. I warmly welcome our Chinese hosts, government representatives, business leaders. Thank you for joining us as we explore what Ghana has to offer. Ghana's economy has operational growth and renewed momentum, thanks to the visionary leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. With an agenda of resetting Ghana, we are advancing an ambitious path of transformation aimed at propelling Ghana into a new era as one of Africa's most competitive, vibrant, and investor-friendly destinations. To realize this vision, we see China as a key partner whose collaboration will be essential in driving Ghana's next phase of growth. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Ghana and China share a bond of friendship that is both historic and forward-looking, built on trust, mutual benefit, and shared aspirations in infrastructure, energy, and industry, among others, while steadily expanding trade. Today, our economic ties continue to grow, creating new business opportunities and creating jobs. Ghana, like most African countries, has historically been a major exporter of raw materials. However, we recognize that our future prosperity lies in value addition and industrialization. That is why the Ministry of Trade and Industry has been realigned by His Excellency to include agribusiness. This move aims to boost local raw material production, attract investment into value addition, and establish strategic industry. Your Excellency, we are therefore working closely with relevant agencies to create a transparent and competitive investment climate that fosters business-led growth. In addition, we are strengthening investor aftercare and grievance mechanism to ensure that investors are not only supported and protected, but also have the opportunity to address their grievances. Our goal is to position Ghana as the natural home for Chinese investors, offering access not only to domestic markets, but also to the 400 million consumers in ECOWAS and about the 3.4 trillion market under the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. As a statement to the strong and mutually beneficial partnership between Ghana and China, the success of companies like Greenhouse Group, Central Group, Zondatech Ghana, Sunda International, its subsidiaries, Softcare, Triford, just to mention a few, demonstrate how Chinese investment can thrive in Ghana's stable and business-friendly environment. We are pleased to see that these companies, supported by financing and capital cooperation from China, intends to further expand their investment in Ghana in the years ahead. Further to this, the Softcare sub-brand of on capital markets. Against the backdrop of global leaders meeting on women yesterday, Your Excellency, I would like to acknowledge the leadership of Madame Yang Zhang, CEO of Zondatech Ghana. As a Chinese woman entrepreneur thriving in Ghana, she embodies the transformative power of women in business and the strength of Sino-Africa cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, the world stands at a critical juncture. Global trade faces protectionism, disputes, and new barriers that demand swift adaptation. Yet, amid these global shifts, the government of Ghana 100% of tariff lines for African countries. This is a bold and timely gesture that opened doors for Ghanaian products in Chinese market and strengthen our partnership at a time where the world is in need of stability and cooperation. I therefore invite Chinese investors to seize this moment. Ghana is ready to host your and ready to partner with you in driving a new era of industrialization and trade between our nations. We seek stronger partnership that will create jobs, enhance skills, and expand technology adoption. Bring your capital, your innovation, and your expertise. Join us in resetting Ghana, and together, let us create industries, jobs, and prosperity that will stand the test of time. I thank you for your kind attention. You are welcome once again.
Future Ganshe Minister. May I invite next Mr. Yuan Lin, Deputy Director General, Department for Western Asia and Africa Affairs of the Ministry of Commerce, representing the Minister for Commerce.
尊敬的马哈马总统阁下，尊敬的邦苏大使阁下，尊敬的家方各位部长阁下，洪德发大使阁下，各位嘉宾、女士们、先生们、朋友们，大家下午好！很高兴出席此次加纳中国投资论坛。我谨代表中国商务部下对投资论坛的举办表示热烈祝贺。中加两国长期友好，今年是两国建交65周年，也是中非合作论坛北京峰会成果再加。马哈马总统此时应邀来华出席全球妇女峰会，与习近平主席、李强总理成功会见，并就深化双边合作达成广泛共识，对于推动中加战略伙伴关系深入发展具有特殊重要意义。近年来，在两国元首的战略引领下，中加经贸合作步入了发展快车道。中国是加纳主要贸易伙伴，加位列中国在非洲前10大贸易伙伴。 据中方统计，2024年双边贸易额近，双边投资合作卓有成效，超过200家中资企业在加纳投资兴业，业务范围从矿产、农业、水利等传统领域逐步拓展到电力、制药、建材、民航等新兴领域。据中方统计，今年前8个月，中国对加纳直接投资近5000万美元，同比增长35%。这充分表明当前中加投资合作的强劲发展势头，同时也反映出加纳营商环境对外资具有较强的吸引力。本次论坛以促进中加投资合作为主题，可谓正当其时，必将推动两国经营主体加强交流对接，进一步释放双边投资合作的增长潜力。女士们、先生们、朋友们，2024年9月，中非合作论坛北京峰会成功举办。习近平主席提出中非携手推进现代化10大伙伴行动，为中非务实合作擘画了新的宏伟蓝图。其中，与非洲各国共同实施产业链合作伙伴行动，为中加投资合作注入了新的动力。2025年6月，习近平主席在致论坛成果落实协调人部长级会议的贺信中表示，中方愿通过商签共同发展经济伙伴关系协定，落实对53个非洲建交国实施100%税目产品零关税举措，将进一步扩大对非贸易制度性开放。中国商务部将以落实中非合作论坛10大伙伴行动为主线，与加方加紧商签共同发展经济伙伴关系协定，推动100%税目产品零关税举措早日在家落地，进一步提升双边贸易投资便利化水平。欢迎与会各界代表和企业家充分利用上述优惠政策，共同探讨合作商机。我们也诚挚欢迎在座的加纳朋友多到中国各地走一走、看一看，实地感受旺盛的经济活力，深入挖掘广阔的合作潜力。最后，预祝本次投资论坛取得圆满成功，谢谢大家。
谢谢 Mr. Yuan Lin. We are getting ready for the keynote address, but before then, Your Excellency, Mr. President, with your permission, may I call on stage the CEO of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, my colleague Simon. Thank you.
Your Excellency, Ministers of State, ladies and gentlemen, please join us as we go on a presentation about doing business in Ghana. And I pledge to you that this time it will be under 20 minutes. I'm under direct instructions from the Honorable Minister of Trade to make it under 20 minutes. So we'll keep running. The theme of today is the future is African. And as many of you may be aware, you know where that is borrowed from. Right, please clap for His Excellency the President. He's giving us the theme for the next. After that speech, someone said that, oh, the present and the future is African. So those of us who are good at plagiarizing, we've taken over from the President. So, Mr. President, please bear with us if we some of your statements. And as you may see, we say Africa is the catalyst for human potential and development, as well as here. How many of you have been to Ghana? We have with us here what we call the passport to Ghana. It's about investing in Ghana. We brought you one in Chinese, so we are offering you one, the 101 of investing in Ghana. We use the Ghanaian cedi. This is our total export. And we have a land area of 238,535 square kilometers. Now picture this in your mind. This is 238,535 kilometers square of investment of opportunities. So that means that every inch of land is a potential for investment and for reaping your reward. So please come to Ghana and join us on it. We've had our GDP so far in the first quarter. And the latest news, we are happy to have the Deputy Minister of Finance with us. Moody's has upgraded us to CAA1. That's a significant achievement for us. It means we are ready and we are open to the market. Now, this is looking at investing in Ghana, investing in Africa through Ghana. This is one of the most important reasons why we are here today. We are here to invite you to look at Africa through the lens of Ghana by being present in Ghana. The Honorable Minister has already spoken about Africa's population, about the opportunity and potential of the AfCFTA, which is the Africa Continental Free Trade. A few weeks ago, a statement or report was issued by Henley and Partners, which states that we have about 2,600 millionaires, people with minimum $1 million and more in Ghana. So it means Ghana is still a significant and a rich place to do business. We are going to have the profit from your investment in our country. We are one of the most stable in sub-Saharan Africa. We have a very dynamic young people. Many of our people are under the age of 21, and they are fairly trainable. And so we also have a great business environment. Government of Ghana will not expropriate your investment. We haven't done that and will not do that. We have double taxation agreements with many of you. We have bilateral investment treatment. And as we go on, you'll see that we do have one with China. We have strong democratic institutions. I've already mentioned our labor. We have a growing middle class, which will be in need of the goods and services produced. And then we have significant natural resources. Now, I want you to look at Ghana as the commercial hub of the continent. We have a strong capital market. Our Ghana Stock Exchange 2 days ago is adjudged as one of the fastest growing on the continent, 73.6% growth in our stock exchange. We also have a very strong SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, working to protect your investment in our country. We have a strong financial sector, which is our money and banking is strong on the continent. Our banking assets is about $24 billion, and the chairman for Ghana Commercial Bank is with us here, so if he can attest to that. We have a strong foreign exchange regime for your transfer of your funds, and we are one of the few countries on the continent with sovereign wealth. So when under President Mahama, we're looking at our petroleum funds, building heritage fund, that it's all to build sovereign wealth. We also built the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund. There's the Minerals Income Fund. All of this is to point you to the fact that Ghana is a commercial hub. Now, this is our trade with China. It's 11.8 billion in 2024. From January to August 2025, it's about 7.8 billion. Please don't worry, we'll leave the slides with you. It's entirely yours. Now, this is the Ghana-China advantage. The minister has already spoken about the zero tariff for goods from several African countries into China. The significant part of this is that China is also trying to deal with the non-tariff barriers. So they've come up with what we call the green lines. Now, if you import into China, you go to what they call the trusted economic operator. So they minimize the non-tariff barriers. And then there's also the China-Africa Trade Cooperation Fund. So where are the Ghana commercial banks and the NIBs funding available to produce and export into the Chinese market? I see the Chinese ambassador is nodding his head, so that's a sign of approval. You have access to the 1.4 billion market. Like I did say, this is one of our biggest benefits for Chinese investors, is the bilateral investment treaty between the government of Ghana and the People's Republic of China, which was signed in 1989 and it came into force in 1991. And you have protection. So we facilitate your visas. There's protection against expropriation. There's national treatment. and most favored nation. Let's break it down. National treatment, what we are basically saying is that the investment, whatever treatment we give to Ghanaian businesses, same will be also the most favored nation. Most favored nation, what we are simply saying is that under the laws, what we extend to other countries by way of benefits, we extend same to you, except under certain circumstances. Then you have access to international dispute settlement. There are guarantees, protection during crisis. But the most important one is we allow for subrogation. Now, let me break this down to your understanding. What we are simply saying, as a message to you, the Chinese investor, is that if you come into Ghana and there is an issue, you can revert to your government will compensate you, and then your government will now deal with the government of Ghana. It's in our BIT. This is one of our significant tools in trading and working with Chinese investors. This is foreign direct investment from 1995. This is the data. Chinese investment in Ghana has created over 39,000 jobs. This is what is officially known, and they are mainly manufacturing, service, agriculture, building and construction. We've had over 1,080 number of projects, and we've had over $4.5 billion of foreign direct investment from China. And this is foreign direct investment. It does not involve reinvestment. It means investors coming out of China or investment coming out of China into Ghana. And that's the breakdown of the sectors. The Honorable Minister has spoken about the companies. So these are some. Just to let you know that Xinjiang took over from Newmont in Achim, and that's one of the biggest Chinese investors in Ghana. All right, this is some of key Chinese projects. The National Theatre, I remember with fond memories when 92 or 93 young people, when they opened this edifice in Accra, it was quite a sight to behold. Now, I'll also share with you some of government's flagship initiatives, and we invite Chinese investors in all of these flagship initiatives. The number one is the 24-hour economy and accelerated export development program. Now, this is government's program, one, to make Ghana self-sufficient in our food production, and then two, to make sure that we are able to produce and also serve our neighbors in the 400 million West Africa market, and then in the AFCFTA market, which is 1.3 billion, almost the same size as China. Now, some of the key economic activities are the Volta Economic Corridor, which is about building, trying to domesticate into farming 2 million hectares, commercial farming, also opening up the Volta Lake to the northern regions of Ghana, having agroecological parks, industrial parks, through special purpose vehicles, and these are the investment areas. We also have what we've called the Big Push, which is the National Infrastructure Development Program, primarily to open up infrastructure of Ghana. The key issues are, one, to open up district capitals, linking district capitals together, two, linking up regional capitals, and then the third component of it is to link up food growing and trading areas of our country. This is a 10 billion investment. We are inviting capable Chinese construction companies to team up with Ghanaian companies to carry out the Big Push. This year, 0.7 billion Ghana cedis, which is close to $1 billion. And next year, the promise is to increase it at 30 billion Ghana cedis. So that's close to another $3 billion US. So we know we are looking at $4 billion over the next 2 years for the Big Push. Already, the president has commissioned some of the projects, over 30 of them. We are looking forward to that. Our other flagship program for investment for economic transformation, which is primarily about feeding Ghana, and then feeding Ghana not just through crops, but also through poultry, which is animal husbandry. But the most important one is the farmer mechanization centers. So the state is building 60 farmer mechanization centers, so that we can be one closer to the farmer, provide them with the tools, and make it easier for them to also have the tools that is required to cultivate their farms. There's also the Digital Jobs Initiative, and we'll speak about that later. There's the Black Star Experience, and then there's the Marine Drive, which used to be the favorite brainchild of the now Minister for Trade, Agribusiness, and Industry. Now, I'm giving you a snapshot, because of the time, of Ghana's investment map. So there are 16 regions in Ghana. All around the regions of Ghana, you can carry out agriculture, and you carry out industry, which is manufacturing. By certain specific regions, there are new and emerging minerals or processing that's coming up. So from Upper West, you have graphite and gold. Upper East, you have gold mining. Northeast, you also have gold mining. Northern region, you have the iron ore. Savannah, you have gold and shea butter. Bono, you have cashew production and poultry production. Bono East is timber production. In Oti, which is one of the regions, you have the iron ore production. And then in Ashanti, Ahafo, Eastern, you have gold, you have agriculture. In Volta, you're going to have the 24-hour economy as well as oil and gas in the western region. And then in the western north, you have gold and bauxite. Central region is tourism, agro-processing. Greater Accra, you have significant service industry in both technology and financial services there. So that's a snapshot. And I'm leading you into specific opportunities for our Chinese investors. So agriculture and agribusiness. The Minister of Trade said that the Ministry of Trade is now with agribusiness. So that's looking at commercial farming. So we are inviting investors to go into commercial farming to feed industry. This is the contribution of agriculture to our GDP and some of the subsectors: livestock, fishing, forestry, crops, food, beverage, and value addition. The investment opportunities are in commercial farms, the farmer mechanization centers, establishment of agro-processing facilities, and also the production of basic agricultural inputs. The good news is that His Excellency the President has announced a waiver for the import of some agricultural products into the country. Manufacturing sector to Ghana's economy, 9% in growth in 2024, but we are looking at specific opportunities in pharmaceuticals, in textiles and garments, in light manufacturing, automobile components and electric cars and industrial parks. Now, to the favorite of all Chinese businesses, electric vehicles. This is one of the reasons why we are here, to invite you to join us on Ghana's journey to become the hub for the assembly and maintenance of electric vehicles for West Africa and for the continent of Africa. So Ghana targets about 70% of electric vehicle adoption by 2045. And then Ghana have 1,000 charging stations by 2028. And then we only have 7 installed public charging stations as of August 2024. Join us on this journey of investing in Ghana's electric vehicles market. Then our next opportunity to use the textiles and garment, which has an annual compound growth of 3.4%, especially if we encourage you to produce in Ghana and export to China under the tariff-free, duty-free waiver that has been granted. It has an anticipated revenue as of 2024 was 3.2 billion. This year, the target is to go way above that. And then there are opportunities also for the construction of 5 industrial parks, the establishment of garment manufacturing factories in our country. Infrastructure, $7 billion, part of which is being cured by the big push, but there's other opportunities in other areas of infrastructure through PPP. So construction of new roads, dualization of highways, railways development is still on for His Excellency the President, and also agenda. There are also opportunities in housing. We have about 1.8 million housing deficit, 60%, and that's about 19.8 million could not secure housing except with government support. So this is one of the areas we are looking for affordable housing for. And when we get to the point of incentives, you realize that there are so many incentives for those investing in the housing sector. There is huge opportunity for renewable energy. The government project is about 3.4 billion now to move universities and public schools and hospitals onto solar and solar energy. So 3.4 billion, this is what government aims to do, and also has opportunity for battery energy storage, and then electric vehicles as well. Mining, this is the contribution of mining. I think I've done halfway of my time, so I'll be rushing to, please help me. This is the contribution of mining, the #1 gold producer in Africa. We are the 2nd largest producer of bauxite. And this is what you have: gold, manganese, bauxite, lithium, iron ore. Yes, we do mine salt. This is a snapshot of Ghana's oil and gas industry. We have 3 offshore basins and 1 onshore. We have 11 operators and 13 petroleum agreements, contribute about 5.4% to our GDP last year. We have 3 existing FPSO pipelines, gases. Then there's the new kid on the block, of which there will be exploration next year, the Volta Basin, which covers about 40% of the landmass of Ghana and about 6 regions, and that will be onshore, as well as 3 also in the downstream and midstream projects as well. Tourism contributes about 1.8 billion, and what we need primarily here is infrastructure. Infrastructure in hotels, infrastructure in places where people visit, and we have huge opportunities, and we invite you to join us on that. It will be nice to have one of these hotels built by the Chinese in Accra. Our ICT and FinTech is estimated about 1 billion in 2022, projected to reach about 5 billion in 2030, and we are also ranked number 1 in the index on the continent. Our data subscription is 26.9 million people using data in Ghana. It's very high in our country. We have specific opportunities, but we can go on. These are some of the financial incentives for investing in Ghana. Agro-processing loan to farming and leasing companies is at 20%. There's approved mutual funds and unit trusts, investment in approved funds, the venture capital companies. We have different levels of incentives. For those in waste processing, we have incentives of 1% for the first 7 years. Then this one is of interest to many of you. There's the automotive development policy, which will give you a semi-knockdown, 3 years of 0. These are all opportunities that we invite you on. These are the non-financials. We've simplified our process. There's guarantees. We have insolvency law. There's dispute resolution. We have the commercial courts. And then there's the aftercare mentioned by the Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry. We have the Ghana International to protect your manufacturing from cheap imports into the country when you set up in our country. There's research and data for you. And then what are we asking from you, our Chinese investors? Invest in our water economic corridor project. Invest in our emerging EV industry, electric vehicles industry. Invest in our agricultural transformation project. Invest in Ghana's strategic manufacturing value chain. Invest in our industrial park. And join us on PP infrastructure development. You can scan for some of the specific opportunities using the QR code. We'll also make it available to you. And then join us from August 26 to 28 for the Ghana International Investment Summit. We're inviting all of you to come and look at opportunities that we have in Ghana. Now, Ghana is open for business. Like I did say, I started off by taking the quote of the president. And before I go into the other opportunities, I just want you to know that under the able leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Ghana is a stable, reformed country connected to the AFCFTA, designed for scale, and we have a 24-hour economy that matches your need for speed, reliability, and standards, a pipeline of investable projects in agribusiness, logistics, manufacturing, energy, digital, and tourism, and a partner that values integrity, predictability, and long-term relationships, as copied from His Excellency, the President. Thank you. Now, Mike. With your permission, Mr. President, I have 2 minutes. My colleague said I need to sneak this in. So just 2 minutes to let you understand the Ghana Free Zone Scheme. Now, this is an important investment scheme, and the CEO is right behind you. Where's Mary, my colleague Mary? Please, you must all clap for her. She's doing a great. So this is our free zones. In many of you call it foreign economic zone, but ours is the free zone. Some of you call it specialized economic zone. And primarily the objective of our free zone is for export trade. So any investor here who is looking for market efficiency, which is that you want to produce in a country where it is efficient to produce and export to an external market, we have our free zones. So under the free zones law, you have to export minimum. Our goal is that you export 100%, but minimum 70% of what you produce. And it has some of the most generous incentives I have seen as an investment person. So we are inviting you to come into the free zones. And these are the areas of operation. They have manufacturing, they have services, they have commercial. All of this is lined up and open for you. And then you go through, these are the monetary incentives. You have 100% exemptions from direct and indirect duties and levies on all imports for production and exports for the free zone. So the free zones is treated as another foreign country, even though you are within our country. And our goal here is to invite you to produce for export. Your income tax is also exempted. There's the export threshold of 70%. Many of you, there's where we have relief from double taxation. For the free zones, it's more or less like you are already in a double taxation regime. So you are not taxed wherever you are and also taxed in our country, Ghana. They've cut down on all the bureaucratic, the licensing is clear, customs is clear. These are the areas of interest for them. And then these are the entry requirements into the free zones. You go through this process. And these are some of the Chinese companies in the free zones. So we expect to have more of you into the free zones. And the next one is the role of my colleague from the Ghana Export Promotion Center. So primarily what they do is non-traditional export. We have certain lines of traditional export, but these are non-traditional. The same goal, and we all work under the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, is to manufacture, whether it's horticultural products or handicrafts, or for export. And so their goal primarily is to look for market access for Ghanaian products to be exported to the rest of the world. And that they do through all of these offices and agencies that they have. So they have a huge target for the AFCFTA. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, the president of Ghana is also the chair for the Accelerated Export Council Board in Ghana. So please clap for him. He has enough interest in export in our country. And then they work through the ECOWAS ETLS, ECOWAS trade liberalization. Those of you who are investing in Ghana who want to save the 400 million, you go through that process. They deal with the AFCFTA. There's also the EU Africa. There's the UK trade partnership. And now we have the Chinese market, which is open to us at to serve 1.4 billion people. These are some of the companies they have, and these are some of the non-traditional exports that they have. This is how you take advantage of the market access program that they have. So I bring it to an end for presentation from 3 of our colleagues. Thank you very much, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Simon, for doing our presentation. As we say in Ghanaian legals, I have had the opportunity of looking or reading beforehand the judgment of my brother, and I have nothing useful to add. Thank you, Simon. Let's give it up to Simon again. At this stage, I have the honor to welcome my brother, the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, to give a short remark and introduce the keynote speaker. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I promise you my brief will be brief. Not like my brother Simon's is 20 minutes. Your Excellency, President John Dramani Mahama, honorable ministers of state, senior government officials, Ambassador of Ghana to China, His Excellency Kojo Bonsu, Ambassador of China to Ghana, members of parliament, leaders of businesses gathered here today. On behalf of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, we want to thank you very much for making time to attend this Presidential Investment Forum. When the CEO of GIPC made his presentation and delivered a snapshot of what Ghana has to offer in the 16 regions of Ghana, he left out one important matter. And that matter he left out is that in addition to all of what God has blessed us with in the 16 regions of Ghana, God has also blessed us with a visionary president, a dynamic president, a patriotic president, and a problem solver. No other person than His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. And you can see that since assuming the presidency, he is fixing all the problems he inherited. He's fixed the economy. He will give you the details of that. He's fixed education. He's fixed healthcare. He's fixing infrastructure. And only a few days ago, he's also fixed our football. Ghana has qualified for the World Cup. So the visionary, problem-solving President John Mahama is not sparing any sector of national development. His extreme competence, his attention to detail, his love for country, and his dexterity has been brought to bear in all aspects of our national development. This morning, President Mahama met with his counterpart, President Xi Jinping. And those of us who were in that meeting, President Xi made a profound statement. President Xi said that in President Mahama, he can trust him to protect all legitimate Chinese businesses. So, President Xi has given you the assurance. Your own president, and undoubtedly the leader of the Global South, has stamped his approval that you can invest in Ghana and your investment will be safe because he can trust his brother to protect all legitimate businesses, all genuine businesses in Ghana. This year is a very significant year in our bilateral relations. We are marking 65 years of formal Ghana-China diplomatic relations. In addition, people-to-people engagement. And when you talk to all Africans, they will tell you there is only one door to Africa. The gateway to Africa is Ghana. So in the people-to-people exchange, business-to-business exchange for 2026, you must all begin in the Republic of Ghana. We are proud to note that China remains Ghana's #1 trading partner, trade volumes of $11.8 billion. And since the first contract was signed between the government of Ghana and a Chinese company in 1983, Chinese companies have not regretted, and our relations have deepened, have flourished, and you can be assured that President Mahama will protect your investments. Ghanaian law will protect your investment, and the Ghanaian people will welcome you to our beautiful republic, the headquarters of Pan-Africanism and the most warm and embracing nation you can find anywhere in the world. President Mahama, who is about to speak in the next minute, is a president who you can go to. He keeps an open door, and he has tasked us at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to prioritize economic diplomacy. And so you can be assured that right from this Presidential Investment Forum, the engagements that you have with all our colleagues, led by the Minister of Trade, GIPC, GEPA, Free Zones, when they have left to Accra, trust the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to be present here and to continue with the engagements. I'm delighted to inform you that in China, you can find our embassy in Ambassador Kojo Bonsu, who is here. Please rise so that they can all identify you. And you can tell from the selection of His Excellency the President in appointing an entrepreneur extraordinaire in Kojo Bonsu that President Mahama means business, and he wants a lot of economic opportunities between China and Ghana. So our embassy is in Beijing. We have a consulate in Guangzhou, and we have honorary consuls in Hong Kong and Macau. And all our officials, a lot of them here, are ready to serve you, to facilitate your travel, and to make sure that you are able to visit Ghana. And you can be assured that under the visionary problem solver, your investment will be safe. Finally, President Mahama is the African Union champion of financial institutions. So when you invest in Ghana, you are not only investing in Ghana, you are investing in Africa, which, according to recent statistics, has a market of 1.5 billion people. And President Mahama, as AU champion of African financial institutions, will guarantee that your investments through the Africa Continental Free Trade Area across the continent of Africa is protected. On that note, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to invite the President of the Republic of Ghana, the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Thank you very much. Kindly receive your seats. Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be with you all here today. Let me make a few acknowledgements. Our ministers of state present here. Thank you, our chief executive officers, our members of parliament. And let me also acknowledge the chairman of the China-Africa Business Council, who gave us a very good the representative of the Department of Western Asia and African Affairs of the Ministry of Commerce, Mr. Yuan Lin, has had to leave us, but I want to acknowledge him too. Let me acknowledge our hardworking ambassador of China to the Republic of Ghana and our newly appointed ambassador of the Republic of Ghana to the People's Republic of China. My dear friends, captains of industry, investors, business people. I'm deeply honored to address this distinguished gathering as part of my state visit to the People's Republic of China. And I bring you warm greetings from the government and people of Ghana. This visit is more than a diplomatic engagement. It is an affirmation of our enduring friendship and a renewal of our shared vision, a vision of growth, innovation, and shared prosperity. Although our nations lie on different continents, Ghana and China are by history, by solidarity, and a common conviction that progress is most meaningful when it uplifts all our people. We come to China at an important moment in Ghana's national transformation. Under our reset agenda and our 24-hour economy vision, we are laying the foundations for inclusive growth. And we do so in the firm belief that sustainable development is best achieved through strong and mutually beneficial partnerships. Partnerships such as the one that exists between China and Ghana. Ghana and China share a relationship that is rooted in friendship, in trust, and strategic cooperation that spans over 6 decades. We are among the first sub-Saharan African countries to establish diplomatic relations with the People's Republic of China. And over the years, this relationship has matured, grounded in mutual respect and our shared aspirations. This year, 2025, marks 65 years of diplomatic relations between Ghana and China, a milestone that celebrates not only the endurance of our relationship, but the purpose. Today, China is Ghana's largest trading partner, with bilateral trade reaching $11.8 billion in 2024. Between 2020 and 2024, China's exports to Ghana rose by nearly 46%, while Ghana's exports to China increased by over 11%. China's decision to grant zero tariff access to Ghanaian and African products signals the confidence in our partnership. It opens vast new markets for Ghanaian exporters, agro-processors, and manufacturers. And I'm happy to inform you that we reached agreement in principle, and we have targeted the end of October to be able to sign off on the zero tariff principle. I wish to commend the government of China for this act of solidarity. We are all aware that the multilateral rules-based trading system is being upended by unilateral slapping of tariffs on different countries. This is a time for us to solidarize and to come together, and this initiative by China is very timely. But trade is not the only part of the story. Through the Belt and Road Initiative and the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, Chinese collaboration has strengthened Ghana's infrastructure in energy and industrial capacity. Between 2013 and 2024, Chinese investments recorded by Investment Promotion Center is set to total $3.9 billion, almost $4 billion. And this covers more than 400 projects and creates thousands of jobs for Ghanaian youth. This partnership has advanced industrialization, technology transfer, and skills development across multiple sectors of our economy. China's transformation over the past 4 decades is one of the most remarkable stories in modern history. China has succeeded in lifting the greatest number of people out of poverty in the shortest possible time recorded in the history of the world. This is a story of innovation, discipline, and visionary leadership. From rural reform to global industrial power, China has demonstrated what is possible when national purpose aligns with long-term planning. Ghana too stands at a pivotal point in our transformation. We're determined to industrialize our economy, expand value-added exports, and empower our citizens through technology, and enterprise. Our reset agenda is rooted in the conviction that every Ghanaian must have a stake in our national prosperity. And on this journey, we extend an open hand of partnership to our friends in China. We want to work with you as we build a future of shared progress and shared prosperity for us. Ghana guarantees the security of your capital and your profits. Under our Constitution and the Ghana Investment Promotion Center Act, we can expropriation of investment is banned. Investors enjoy unrestricted repatriation of their dividends and proceeds in convertible currency of their choice. Our laws protect investment against discrimination, expropriation, and nationalization, which is consistent with international best practice. Ghana is a proud member of the International Center for Settlements of Investment Disputes and is a signatory to the New York Convention. This means that your rights are protected under transparent international arbitration mechanisms. We're also implementing pro-enterprise reforms to make Ghana one of the most business-friendly destinations in Africa. A new Investment Promotion Authority bill will abolish minimum capital requirements for foreign and joint venture investors and will provide a clear path for long-term investors to qualify for Ghanaian citizenship. A symbol of trust and belonging, public-private partnership frameworks are being modernized to ensure faster, fairer, and more transparent approvals of applications. As the host of the African Continental Free Trade Area, Ghana provides investors with direct access to a $3.4 trillion single market and over 400 million consumers through the ECOWAS Trade Liberalization Scheme. Above all, our democratic stability that has been uninterrupted for more than 30 years is the strongest guarantee of investor confidence. Ghana is open for business, and we're open to innovation. We're open to partnerships, especially with our Chinese counterparts. At the heart of our new transformation lies the 24-hour economy and accelerated exports development program, which is anchored in the Volta Economic Corridor, one of the most ambitious projects in Ghana's history. It rests on our 4 interlinked pillars. The first, irrigating over 2 million hectares of land for all year-round farming. The second, building agro-industrial parks for textiles, pharmaceuticals, and food processing. The third, developing tourism and hospitality hubs, Water Lake, one of the world's largest man-made inland lakes. And the fourth, establishing a modern inland water transport and logistics system, linking farms, factories, and markets. Supporting these are catalytic projects such as the Legon Pharmaceutical Innovation Park, the Kumasi Machinery and Technology Park, the Akosombo Japon Garments and Textiles Park, and the Eden Volta Agricultural Project. Each of these offers investment opportunities in manufacturing, renewable energy, cold chain logistics, and value-added agro-processing. To unlock large-scale growth, we've launched the Big Push Infrastructural Program, which is a $10 billion initiative focused on completing major roads, bridges, power systems, and digital networks, and also linking Ghana to regional markets. We invite Chinese investors to explore partnerships in roads, in smart cities, renewable energy, and digital connectivity. Agriculture for Economic Transformation Agenda, which is a 1.5 billion CD program, is aimed at ensuring food security, boosting productivity, and expanding agricultural exports. We're also investing $3 billion in our Digital Jobs Initiative to prepare our youth for the technology-driven economy of the future. And we believe that China, with its comparative advantage in digitalization and innovation, will be a partner to the vibrant, youthful population of Africa and Ghana in this regard. And we see vast potential in critical minerals and electric vehicle value chains. With abundant resources of lithium, bauxite, manganese, and graphite, Ghana is poised to partner with Chinese investors in responsible mining and local processing to drive the global clean energy transition. As part of Ghana's transformation, we plan to establish a new green city that will straddle the three regions of Greater Accra, Volta, and Eastern regions. I'll soon inaugurate an interministerial committee to guide the design and feasibility study of this new city. I'll also appoint a transaction advisor to lead the process for the implementation of this all-important project. This will be a green digital city and will display cutting-edge technology in urban design, planning, and innovation. This city is planned to be a 20-year project executed in 4 phases, and my expectation is that the first phase will commence before my tenure of office runs out. I invite our Chinese colleagues to be a part of this all-important project. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is the new Ghana we're creating, a 24-hour economy of opportunity and innovation, a bold infrastructure drive connecting every community and enterprise, a modern agricultural engine that feeds our people and exports to the rest of the world, a digital revolution that empowers our youth, and an industrial vision that adds value and secures prosperity for generations to come. Ghana offers Chinese investors not only stability and profitability, but also a strategic gateway to the heart of Africa. In return, we seek partnerships that accelerate industrialization and advance technology transfer and create shared value for our peoples. Ours will be a win-win partnership. Your success in Ghana and investment will be our shared success. Together, let us turn opportunities into achievements and ambitions into lasting prosperity. I thank you for your attention. Sheshe.